Alright, so this is shift 2, with the Alfa Romeo again. So this is the reason I'm doing the 5 laps here. As with Gran Turismo, we have the rolling start, and shift there's a standing start. So, and because I don't really like shift's testing mode, at least I just do a quick race with no opponents. So, and I would upload this as a replay, just straight from the game, but not. This is something actually I like better in Gran Turismo, is that it keeps all this race data on screen in the replays, and then shift, there is no on-screen data in replays. So I actually have to record this off the TV. So something I've really noticed is, at least it kind of carries over from the first shift, is the floating car feeling. With the car is behaving more like they're on ice than with on actual road. It's very apparent with the controller. It's actually that actually aggravated me quite a bit during the first 2 races there, because they have the options menu to get to use my wheel. Once you get past the first 2 races and get the wheel set up, there's the floating feeling it's still there, but it's not. Actually, a little less apparent. That's with the stability control off. Actually, something that surprises me is when I turn the stability control on, the car actually behaves closer to the way it does in GT5, which actually that shows a definite improvement in shift's handling model. Something else that's very interesting is the fact that the speeds I have to take the corners in between both games are very close to each other. And I figured, at least with shift kind of being the blend between the arcade and simulation, maybe the handling model would lean more towards the arcadey side, and at least with since I'm using the experience setting, it's there's not really much of an arcade feel to it. I mean, it's still there. It's just less noticeable. Also, the lap times are actually very, very close. At least the best lap time between the two. Minute 43, 4:39 is what it's going to end up being for this one, and I think it's just a little bit faster in GT5. Something I do find very interesting is the way the game, at least shift, lets you know your car's losing traction. I mean, in GT5 it's actually more obvious. For at least for rear-wheel drive cars, the back end's definitely going to slide out when you lose traction back there. But in this game, since there's not a lot of tire screeching in the corners, it's hard to tell when the car is losing traction or not. But with shift, at least the vibration in the steering wheel, it actually makes a kind of a whirring noise. And if you watch when it's kind of actually, you can't hear it because I don't have the audio on. the video, but that whirring noise is actually letting you know that you have just lost traction with the road. That's actually, I guess, a decent way of handling that with, you know, since a tire screeching is almost absent unless you really drive the car hard into the corners. I've noticed, at least in shift, the cars seem to accelerate a little bit quicker than they do in GT5. Also on like the front straight there, in shift I can get the car into 5th gear, while in Gran Turismo I can't get the car out of 4th. And then again, in the turn coming up, I can, you know, I get the car pretty much into 4th gear. I'll have to pull it out real quick. When in GT5, there's actually more to the 3rd gear, so I actually don't even have to go in the 4th at all. For the most part, and pretty much all the turns right there, the gears I'm in are pretty much the same as the gears, you know, the gears I'm in GT5, with except for that final tight turn just before you get on the front straightaway. In GT5 I have to be in 1st gear. In shift I could go into 1st gear, though it actually seems more beneficial to stay in 2nd, since, you know, even going into 1st gear and shift here, it's you're pretty much like getting out of it as soon as you put put on the throttle. At this point, I think I've got almost everything. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I'm sure other people are gonna find a whole bunch of stuff I missed, which is okay. And that, you know, next step after all this is to pretty much buy all the modifications and, you know, give it a tune-up just to see, you know. Now then, we're gonna just compare the two handling models when they're tuned. So no, actually we're coming up now the point where I spun out in GT5. I'm not going to spin out this time, but notice I did still go off the track just like in GT5. So there's a little bit of a, just shows that you can actually keep the car under control a little more when you go off the track and shift than you can in GT5. So I think I actually might have slowed down a little more. But that's about gonna do it. And yeah, no, not gonna go in the pits this time. Nope, because it's actually blocked off. But and then, yeah, I'll actually get a little bit of a close up on the lap times here.